Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that has chilled people to the bone for generations. A tale that weaves together family, tragedy, and something otherworldly. It all begins in a grand, isolated estate. With a single, innocent child, this young boy was the heir to a vast fortune, but his life was cut tragically short under mysterious circumstances. The official report was a simple accident, but those who lived in the house knew better. At the heart of the home were two older sisters, the boy's aunts. One was kind and gentle, truly devastated by the loss of her nephew. The other, she was different, cold, calculating, and with her eyes fixed firmly on the family inheritance. As the days turned into weeks, a strange presence began to make itself known. Doors would slam shut in empty hallways, and the faint sound of a child's laughter would echo from the boy's sealed-off nursery. The staff grew terrified, speaking in hushed whispers of a ghost. Only one person dared to look closer, a loyal servant who had cared for the boy since his birth. This servant didn't believe in ghosts, but they did believe in justice. They noticed how the colder sisters seemed entirely unfazed by the haunting, almost smug. One night, the servant decided to investigate the sisters' chambers, searching for anything that might explain the boy's untimely death. What they found wasn't a weapon or a confession, but a hidden diary. The diary's pages revealed the chilling plot. The cold-hearted sister had meticulously planned the accident, driven by greed. But the final entry was the most terrifying. It read, "He won't leave me alone. He follows me. The boy is always watching." The haunting wasn't just random, it was personal. The spirit of the lost child was seeking its own form of justice, eternally tethered to his killer. The servant took the diary to the authorities, and the truth was finally revealed. The estate stands empty now, a silent monument to a sister's greed and a child's restless spirit. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more tales from the shadows. See you next time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we redive in deep into a chilling tale that will make you rethink every creak and shadow in your own home. Imagine this: a quiet night, an old house, and a feeling that you're not alone. Our story begins with Sarah, a young woman who thought she'd found her dream home. A beautiful, historic house with character and charm. Little did she know, some character comes with a dark past. Sarah had always loved old buildings, the worn floorboards, the intricate moldings, the stories they whispered. But soon after moving in, those whispers started to become louder. Began subtly. A cold spot in a perfectly warm room, a faint scent of old lavender when no flowers were present, keys disappearing from the counter only to reappear in impossible places. Sarah, ever the pragmatist, initially brushed it off as the quirks of an old house, or perhaps her own overactive imagination. But the incidents grew more frequent, more unsettling. Doors would slowly creak open, even when she knew she'd latched them shut. Shadows danced in her peripheral vision, just out of focus, vanishing the moment she turned her head. One evening, as she was reading in bed, she heard a distinct, gentle hum coming from the hallway, a lullaby, soft and mournful. Yet nobody else was home. Her heart pounded, and she pulled the covers tighter, trying to convince herself it was the wind. Then came the apparitions. Not full-blown, terrifying figures at first, but fleeting glimpses. A wispy, translucent shape drifting past her bedroom door. A pale, sorrowful face, reflected in the antique mirror for just a second too long, only to vanish. Sarah's once cozy home was transforming into a place of constant anxiety. Sleep became a luxury, filled with restless nights and vivid, disturbing dreams of a woman crying in the shadows. She started researching the house's history, online archives, old newspapers, local historical societies. What she uncovered sent shivers down her spine. Decades ago, a young woman named Eleanor had lived in the house, tragically losing her life there under mysterious circumstances. Locals had whispered of a broken heart, a betrayal, and a spirit unable to move on. Sarah now felt a strange connection, a profound sadness for Eleanor. It wasn't malicious. It was a lingering sorrow, a profound loneliness that permeated the very walls of the house. One particularly stormy night, the house seemed to come alive. Wind howled, rain lashed against the windows, and the ancient timbers groaned. Sarah was huddled in her living room, a single lamp providing scant comfort when she saw it clearly. In the doorway to the dining room, a figure stood, a woman dressed in an old-fashioned gown, her face etched with a profound, almost unbearable sadness. Eleanor. She didn't speak, didn't move aggressively. She simply stood there, a silent sentinel of her past pain. Sarah, trembling but also feeling a strange empathy, whispered, "What happened, Eleanor?" A faint sigh seemed to ripple through the air, and for a moment, the temperature in the room plummeted. Then, slowly, almost reluctantly, the figure began to fade, leaving Sarah alone in the silence, but with a profound sense of having shared a moment with the spectral inhabitant. It wasn't a jump-scare horror. It was a deep psychological haunting, a constant reminder of a tragedy that refused to be forgotten. The experience changed Sarah. She no longer saw Eleanor as a terrifying ghost, but as a trapped soul. She started leaving small offerings, fresh flowers, a lit candle, trying to bring some peace to the lingering presence. She spent her days trying to uncover more about Eleanor's life, hoping to understand, hoping to help her find rest. Her horror home was now a place of poignant mystery, a quiet vigil for a spirit yearning for resolution. It's a chilling reminder that sometimes the most profound hauntings aren't about fear, but about unresolved emotions. What would you do if you found yourself living with such a spirit? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this tale, please hit that like button, share it with a friend who loves a good scare, and don't forget to subscribe for more spine-tingling stories. Have you ever heard of the Blackwood Hostel? No. Well, there's a good reason for that. They say it's not a place you find on a map. It's a place that finds asterisk. It looks like any other rundown building on the edge of town, but once you check in, you might never check out. The stories say it was built on an old, forgotten burial ground, and the souls trapped there are less than friendly. Our story begins with a group of college students, just looking for a cheap place to stay for a weekend trip. They were young, full of life, and completely unaware of the nightmare they were about to walk into. The hostel owner was a strange, silent man who never seemed to blink. The air inside was heavy and cold, even in the middle of summer. Doors would slam shut on their own, and whispers would echo down the empty hallways late at night. At first, they dismissed it as an old building's quirks, but then people started disappearing. One by one, the students vanished without a trace. The remaining survivors, their faces etched with terror, were desperate to escape. They realized this wasn't just a spooky old building. It was a hunting ground. The whispers turned into chilling laughter, and shadowy figures flitted just at the edge of their vision. They found old diaries hidden beneath floorboards, telling tales of past guests who met gruesome ends, their last words scribbled in a frenzy. The hostel wasn't just haunted. It was hungry. Now, let's talk about the teachers. Not the kind you find in a school, but the ones who teach you a lesson you'll never forget. Before the hostel, the building was a reformatory school, run by a cruel headmaster and his staff. They were infamous for their brutal methods, and many children suffered under their care. It's said that when a fire mysteriously consumed the school, the teachers were trapped inside, paying the ultimate price for their cruelty. Their tormented spirits are the most powerful, the most malevolent entities within these walls. They are the teachers, and their lesson is one of pure terror. And that brings us to the ghouls, the spirits of the children. They aren't the ones you should fear most. They are the victims, trapped in an endless loop of their tragic past. You might see a small figure darting down a corridor or hear the faint sound of a child's cry. They are the ones who leave the warnings a misplaced object, a door creaking open, a whispered word of run. They try to help you escape the teacher's wrath. They are the tragic, spectral heart of the Blackwood Hostel. So, if you're ever on a lonely road and see a flickering vacancy sign for a place you couldn't find on any map, just keep driving. Some doors are better left unopened. Thanks for listening to this spooky tale. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more chills. Stay safe out there.